All right, guys, we have half of the other groups, C and D, are already underway. We're here with Renegades, obviously. SPUNJ, your hair game is as strong as ever. Oh, well, maybe it could have been done better. Oh well. Anyway, yeah, Renegades, you've already gone through the first match. Sadly, you've lost it. But first, let's talk about the preparation. Let's talk about some of the questions that we've asked in the pre-interview that we didn't have with you, sadly. So, yeah, preparations first off.
We had IEM kind of kicked off our boot camp. We got to play there at Gamescom, which was a good way to get back in Europe and play an event before coming into this event. Then we had 8 days of a boot camp at the ESL studios, and that was really good. We had to acclimatise to the European play style. We had to play against a lot of good teams and adapt just our brains to playing their style of CS, and still getting to practice the things which we thought were necessary from our own game and our own style. So yeah.
So what about your group? Did you prepare specifically for that one? But did you also look at some of the other teams, since you had to know that you were probably going to face someone from the other groups? With
the new random system, it makes it really hard to prepare for teams. Tonight, obviously, when we find out who we're going to be playing, then we might be able to look more into who we're playing on what maps, or consider our vetoes or whatever. We mainly just looked at TSM, and beating TSM was the goal, which we didn't succeed in. But that was our main focus in the preparations and lead up.
So what do you think about the system anyway then? What do you think about the fact that you don't have the opportunity to prepare for anyone other than these couple of hours after you basically know who you're going to face next?
It's an even playing field for everybody, so I think it's fair in that regard. And I think it's also good that to get through a group, you don't necessarily have to play, or you don't have to play or beat the same team twice, which kind of works out for us. Versing TSM, who are probably considered like a top 2, top 3 team in the world, knowing now we don't have to play them again in our group to get through, it's fantastic. We know we're going to verse a team who's either the same seed as us or lower, first game tomorrow, and then we play NIP, who obviously look pretty shaky. They got beaten 16-3 by TSM. So it all looks positive for us in that regard. However, the levels of preparation which you see in normal events, where you know your groups, you know your opponents, that's all gone out the window. So things have changed, or you have to put in a lot more preparation for teams which might deduct from other parts of your gameplay, like just general practice time.
So is that how it works? You're going to meet NIP next time after it? Or is it random as well?
So I'm almost positive that we will stay where we are, because we hadn't played NIP in our group, meaning that we would stay where we are, whereas CLG will be the one moving because they've already played NIP. Mm-hmm. The team that comes into our group for first thing tomorrow, I don't know who that'll be. That could be, at the moment, it could be Kingwin, and the others haven't been determined yet. So.
All right. So next up is going to be one of the matches that as you said, as we previously mentioned. What are the goals for this event really? What do you think you'd be satisfied with? Would it be just a playoff, or would it be just like a top 4?
Look, I'd be lying to say that I'd be happy with just to win a game, or to win 2 games or whatever. To make the top 8 is the goal. Every team's goal is to get into the top 8, and to become a Legends team and guarantee yourself a spot at the next major. Anybody's coming and going, yeah, we're going to have a good time, we're just going to play and do as best we can, you know. Sure, like that was me last time or the time before that, but you can't have that mentality anymore. It's making the top 8 changes your life, basically, as a Counter-Strike player, and that needs to be our goal, and we need to make that happen. So hopefully we can bring that tomorrow.
So do you think also playing the Lanxess area, that's something that you haven't really been through lately, because, well, there was only Katowice which had like a similar setup. So what do you think about that?
Playing at IEM on stage was the first time that we had played, I guess, on the stage at a bigger tier event. Like at a major, we've never actually made it that far to play on the stage. First Katowice was just in the basketball court. Cologne last year was just in that little box area where you weren't on the stage or anything, and then Katowice again was just in the basketball arena. Oh, actually, I tell you, we did get to play on the stage, but yeah, we not in front of like the massive audience. We haven't had that yet, and to be able to do that would be amazing. It'd be great exposure, I guess, for us as players, and it'd be a great experience. But that's not something which matters, you know. Getting top 8, no matter where we play, it matters to me.
All right. So how has the transition to Renegades been? Really, we haven't really talked about that before with you. How do you think it differs from Vox? How much better do you think you can get with the new backing?
So we haven't really started. We're like still in a transition period from Vox to Renegades in terms of becoming full-time gamers. That's still happening now as we speak. So most or all of us have now stopped working or studying to pursue the game. Later this year, we'll be going to America for a period of time, and we'll be practicing there and going to trips from there. That'll give us more time to put into the game, a greater chance to practice against higher level teams than what are found in Australia, and hopefully that'll accelerate our progress as a team. I think we're doing pretty well considering the restrictions we've had in the past, and now that that's no longer an issue, there's no excuses. So I think we can reach our full potential under Renegades.
So why America? Why not Europe, where you'd probably have better practice opponents?
So moving to America is because the team is based in America and they already have a house there for us to go to. So I guess eventually maybe a stepping stone might be to go to Europe, but there's certain events in America which we would think we could compete in and compete well and kind of use it as a stepping stone to move further in the world. For example, the Pro League, which we'd really love to be a part of, please, ESL and ESEA. So that's kind of like our main focus at the moment. And just being given an opportunity to be in a team house somewhere, and America's great. Everybody speaks English, so that's great for us. But yeah, that's one of the main reasons.
Are you at all afraid that like a gaming house that you talked about is gonna like affect your team inside, like from the inside? You know, before we had problems. Well, some of the teams had problems with like staying together as a team. You know, the like new problems outside of the game kind of come out. And are you at all afraid of that?
I think because the majority of my players have actually been in environments where they've had to work real jobs and they haven't just been thrown into being a professional gamer from the age of 16 or 17, 18, whatever, like a lot of these kids have. We have the maturity to be able to understand that we're all humans. Mm-hmm. We all think about things differently, we all do things differently. That's obviously something which maybe these other teams didn't, like they didn't have the world or the life experience to be able to deal with that, and hopefully there aren't issues like that arise for us. If stuff like that does start to become an issue, then obviously we look into ways of relieving that, but I don't think self-destructing, changing lineups, doing all that kind of stuff just because we're living together is going to be a possibility. I haven't considered that at all, really.
So I just realized we really haven't talked about the TSM game specifically. So what happened there? Were you comfortable with Train coming out?
Yeah, definitely. I knew exactly what they were going to ban. Cache is one of our stronger maps, and it's one of their weaker maps. I know they beat Nip on it quite convincingly, but historically they have like a 40% win rate on it or something. And then Cobble, we knew they were weak on it from IEM. They wanted to ban it out, or they didn't want to play it. Like we found that information out pretty freely. And then I knew my bans. Well, they were obviously Mirage and Dust 2. We prepared for Train, Overpass and Inferno. I would have been happy with all three. I think I would have been happiest with Overpass, which would be surprising to some people, but the way that they play Overpass I think is really easy to read. Train starting, we knew we'd start T-side, which isn't such an issue for us. We started really strong and then lost 13 rounds straight. So that was heartbreaking, I guess. Like we could have won that half 5 rounds in a row, you know, not to win another one for that half is pretty gutting. The scoreline, I was going to say flatters us, but I don't know if that's accurate. I think I'm just disappointed with the fact that we could have won that game and we didn't. I've had like a couple of hours to process it and think about it and whatever. And I'm not like I am cut. Like I would like to win, but we didn't. But I'm not mad at anybody about it. I'm just disappointed, I guess.
All right, thank you, Chad, for the interview. Do you have anything last to add? Any shout outs to your new sponsors?
No, I'd just like to thank the Renegades organization and Alpha Draft.
All right, so that was Chad SPUNJ Barchel from the first day of ESL One Cologne. Check out OchoTV.org for more exclusive content and our coverage as always.